you see a matchup between teams of the same region and they do something so specific.
Right, exactly.
And you should.
But how would Liquid know it?
Yeah, they would just say that, oh, they probably know them better than us. We're just
Right.
gonna copy them. We're not gonna waste some time, you know, to try it out.
Don't risk it with.
Or
especially
some
with Meepo.
teams who say, oh, you really want Meepo? Let's just give you one game. But that's normally in a BO3 in the first game. Let's
That's
just
true.
try it.
Not a group stage.
Yeah, not a
No.
BO2 game.
They do get to start off with Magnus here for G2.iG. I think they've run that multiple times on JT mainly, so probably just securing their offlane. Some flex onto mid as we saw.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the heroes where I feel like he's a hybrid offlaner. Like he has a role in the team, but he also plays for himself. Like some of the offlaners, like you see Doom, like teams pick Doom. Doom is more about his own game, you know, because he's a greedier hero. Whereas something like a Centaur is more about your own, you're playing for your team. But Magnus, on the other hand, is in between, you know. You play for your own team with the Empower, but you do also go for your own items to farm, you know, with the Echo Saber, the Harpoon. I think he's the only hero that buys that item right now, and that item is amazing on him. You always get pickoffs, and Magnus with Spectre could work, you know. Harpoon someone, you catch someone, skill, and then the Spectre comes in with the Shadow Step.
Yeah, they could line up for it. I'm curious why Liquid's prioritizing the Lina so early. Maybe expecting the Magnus mid and trying to crush it?
I think the concept between Lina is you don't lose your lane. So whenever you get the option to pick a core and the core does not care who he matches up against, I think that's an inherent advantage for the team that picks it.
Yeah, but what about all these top tier heroes? Grimstroke is completely ignored. Why would you go for a Lina over a Grimstroke?
Like I said, you know, you want to pick a hero first, so that you get to see more heroes and pick the next few heroes. And like you're talking about Grimstroke, I think Grimstroke is not exactly a hero that I feel like I want to open my draft with. Right now, if I have like a pick like Lina where I can just pick it and see what you pick first, then I counter the next few picks. But I do agree there's still value in picking Grimstroke because Grimstroke is just that good of a support hero. Like he's one of the highest win rate support heroes right now.
70%.
Yeah,
And
pretty amazing.
I think he's been contested in every. It's almost 100% contested.
Almost every game. Like Grim plus Lina would be nice. Grim plus Magnus would be nice.
That's banned out. You do take care of it. I like the Weaver ban as well. It's been pretty popular, and you get the tree on top.
Yep. This is a very good combination with the Lina. Lina doesn't have armor. It helps set up Lina's ganks. And on the other hand, the Overgrowth is very good against the RP.
Yeah, it gives him a lot of control. Gives him also a good way of just having a support that can just sit in lane at some point.
Yeah.
Does slow down or get aggressive.
And
as we've seen
normally
with
when you go for Trian, you're like trying to pick like a Muerta or Luna carry, because that's how the lane is going to be fluid for you as a Trian. You don't want to be pairing like Trian with say like another melee hero, you know, in the lane. So they go for like the Phoenix Muerta. Alright, so team fight, RP into the egg.
Yeah, they've got that wombo combo ready. You don't really have the best way to machine gun down the egg, although I suppose Alina can kind of handle that. But if you do have the RP to protect, it's not that bad for the side of G2.iG.
It's also for the matchup. Like Phoenix is very good against Trian. You think about like how the team fights are going to be played out, right? Like Trian wants to come in with Invis, with the shard. He wants to take an area, set up a fight with Overgrowth. But when you're playing against a Phoenix, if you do that, the Phoenix just comes in, counter initiates, gets an egg on top of that area, and then suddenly you feel like, oh wait, crap, we can't take this fight, you know? And the stun rate is also very, very annoying at just saving the target that you're trying to go on as Trian Protector. And the Muerta, on the other hand, might just be like a flex hero for G2.iG, you know, might be a support hero, might be a core hero, but I think we have mostly been seeing core Muerta so far because ever since the nerfs to his calling, people are just using this hero as a carry more.
Yeah, which we have seen still be effective. It just does take that ramp up in farm. I don't think we've seen Monet play it just yet, so it's going to be interesting. I don't see the flex too hard for G2.iG, and Team Liquid just goes straight into Morphling as well. So they've got their own carry matchup lined up early on, which, to be fair, you have some good heroes to turn into. Like even just Magnus is pretty nice here.
Yep. And you want to have like a hero that has hybrid damage against Muerta, some magic damage.
I'm actually surprised that G2.iG didn't go for the Morphling, because Monet was doing work on that in the LGD series.
Yeah, but if you want to pick it on the first pick team, you have to do it on 18. So
what are you afraid of?
I mean, I'm sure there are gonna be like heroes that can counter you, like some Doom, some TA. I mean, those heroes are still really good. I mean, Lina itself is also really good against Morphling already.
That's true.
And you can always catch the Morphling out from Fog with the stun. Every time when you're playing Morphling against Lina, there's always going to be that one random death that happens. Maybe two, okay, maybe
She probably
two.
doesn't even need the Laguna Blade. She just LSAs you from Fog, one Dragon Slave, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Yeah, Lina is not easy for Morphling to deal with, for sure, you know. Because you always want to be on low health to farm efficiently, and against Lina, you just can't.
You know, Lina versus Morphling actually has my favorite rival response voice line in the game. Whenever she kills Morphling, she says, I thought we were Steam friends.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's a banger of a line.
That's a very meta line.
It is.
A very
I
meta
love
line.
breaking the fourth wall a little bit.
Oh,
I mean, this is a draft you don't get to see a lot nowadays. You know, Lion and Lina on the same team.
beautiful. Laguna and Finger. Just
Yeah.
the insta-gib on hand.
And I can't wait to see that happen when there's a Pugna ward in the game.
Oh yeah, Pugna has actually been ignored. I didn't notice that.
Could slide in. Could still kind of slot it in, but do you feel like you start to lack control for the Morphling if you do go Pugna here?
I mean,
Is that a concern?
yeah, they don't have really good lockdowns on their heroes apart from RP, so that's the Spectre. With the Magnus, and Spectre kind of is good against Lina and Lion because you can always kill them easily, especially Lina. You know, Lion maybe not so much because he can hex the illusion. But overall, I like the way that the draft is around Spectre. I always believe that Spectre is a hero that if you pick this hero, you need to have the right lineup around it. You can't just pick the hero because the hero has a very high win rate and not have the right tools around it. And so far, I think they have very, very good tools around the Spectre. They have very strong and solid lanes, especially on the off lane. I think that's the lane that you care about the most. You don't really care about your own lane as a Spectre as much, but you care more about your off lane so that you can use your Shadow Step to get kills on his lane later.
And that does look like a pretty nicely aggressively in for G2.iG if they will give JT the off lane mag. I think the mag Morta can kind of line up some good shots and just have some solid synergy. I'm wondering what they're going to try to last pick here now for NTS on G2.iG. I'm still assuming the Magnus is just JT0.
Maybe they could just do mag mid and try to pick a matchup where the offlaner can have a good time against the Morphling, so the Spectre can actually come into play earlier. That's what I might be considering, you know, something like a stronger laner.
Didn't we see the DK Lina matchup?
Oh,
yesterday?
that is fine too. Yeah, that is fine too. But DK into Morphling is like also kind of not that great. I feel like. But it's definitely good against the Lina in the lane. But the way you're playing DK now is you sit in a lane, you get a minus and you farm it. I'm not sure how that works with a Spectre and Magnus in your team.
Magnus is going to do the work. He'll find stuff around
He's
the map.
still going to need to farm, you know? Like Magnus is not like a cheap hero like Puck or
Yeah,
Pango.
that's
He
true.
runs around and kill. He's going to hit creeps, you know?
Oh man, I missed your cheap, expensive hero.
Economical hero.
Yeah. You have a specific budget for your team.
Yeah.
You can't overspend.
That's actually very nice way to explain it. You cannot exceed the budget.
No, you cannot. You can't go in the red.
Okay, that is a
Okay.
budget heavy.
Alright.
I mean, it's a Morphling counter, so they're gonna do what I said. They move the Magnus to mid, pick a hero that can deal with the Morphling and have a good lane. Even though it's like on the more expensive end of it, but I do see the logic behind it, where if the offlaner gets a good start, they get a counter matchup, even though it's more expensive, but it allows the Spectre into the game.
Yep.
Yeah, they've
Oh,
got some
Wraith
good-
King. Wraith King offlane against Spectre.
That feels...
I mean, Wraith King against Doom is already like a good matchup.
Yeah.
You know?
It already forces a choice out from JT. It's a rather interesting back and forth in the draft. My one concern for G2.iG is maybe just, you know, you mentioned having to play around a Spectre, that she's waiting for something to happen. Your cooldowns are not the shortest in the world for G2.iG to kind of line that up.
But I would say that in terms of budget, I think G2.iG has a more balanced budget, whereas Liquid has a more expensive budget because they have a Lina, which is gonna farm a lot. With you get travels and you wanna get to your Aghanims timing. Then you have a Wraith King offlane, which is also a high budget hero, and Water Boy. Enough said, you know, high budget hero.
That's true. Especially since more
High budget Lion too. Lion support.
Is he that high budget? Does
He's
he
a plate
need a
mail,
dagger
sure.
this game? Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
The shard and all 5 plate mails.
Yeah,
Very
exactly it.
expensive. Because I don't really see Liquid needing to initiate team fights that much. So aren't they just kind of going to sit back and wait for Mag to skewer in, Doom to blink in, Spectre?
Like, the onus isn't on Liquid.
Exactly.
I think you still have to play around his timings from G2.iG, which again, if you're kind of trying to start a farm war, the Doom can keep up, but like I feel like you're going to get a lot just if the Wraith King's just allowed to clear out everything.
Basically, G2IG is going to be the white pieces. They have to initiate stuff, whereas Liquid, they're going to be playing the black pieces, chilling, waiting. You know, we have the greedier, the more expensive budget, so we have to wait for late game.
Well, chess and finance. Could you be any more of an Asian stereotype right now, Winter?
He's not a doctor, so there you go.
There's still room for improvement right now, but I want to see what kind of opening we have with our very rare casting duo, Owen and Cinderin. Whoa! How often do you get to cast with someone the same height as you, Owen? So I'll let you two make eye contact for this game number 1. We'll see you later.
30 seconds to battle. The battle begins. Dire's courier has been killed. Dire's courier has been killed.
You've been burned.
Money changes hands.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's courier has been killed.
Despite this fear.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Double down. A bounty which my matriarch will prize.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
Don't burn your fingers.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's courier has been killed. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Finally met my match.
Held your feet to the fire.
Radiant are scanning. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
To the seven hells.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire are scanning. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. are scanning.
Haste!
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
A bounty which my matriarch will prize.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire are scanning. Radiant are scanning. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. are scanning.
A bounty which my matriarch will prize.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Regeneration.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
I get my due.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire are scanning. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Transfigures once again.
Dire are scanning. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's top tower has fallen.
For the treasury!
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Do not fear this.
Conspirators!
Radiant are scanning. Dire's courier has been killed. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Strength renewed and purpose with it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Shouldn't have executed the blacksmiths. I think you
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
one horn, you know,
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. burn. More fuel for my fire. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Are scanning. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
More fuel for my fire.
Dire are scanning. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is falling. Radiant's structures are fortified.
In the wrong path.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack.
I'll hurry my foe to the spike gate.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is falling. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
And in a fashion that now has me convinced, this G2.iG roster is not just some random stack slapped together. No, there is some brain power put behind all of these teammates. And I'm convinced that this is real. We are witnessing something that is a pretty top-tier team, I think.
Yeah, I think there were some questions yesterday after playing against LGD, not the toughest opponent right now. Liquid up there. And we're seeing some of those same flashes of brilliance coming out from that last series. Like, JT just goes insane once he has some of his setup ready. He goes out, he finds the right targets. Not just the carries, but even like the early disables onto Insania, preventing overgrowth in the wider fights. It's a tough game to play for Liquid.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for Liquid, their game plan didn't really work out, because they picked the Wraith King last and probably felt like Wraith King, you have 2 lives, you can deal with the Doom in the late game, and you have the Aghanim's to give your teammates a little bit more time to cast their spells in the team fight. But eventually, I felt like what lost them the game is the inability to actually compete with the enemy's team fight composition. The overwhelming team fight from Phoenix and Magnus just
Here's the LSA.
Yeah, and this is the crazy Nisha that only one Nisha grows on the trees.
That was not the expression. Okay, we were having a discussion backstage where I was skeptical that you can get away with first picking Lina. And when that LSA happened, we were like, oh, well, Liquid's just amazing. I'm like, no, Nisha's definitely one of those players, and Nishas don't grow on trees. You can't just get away with first picking Lina on any old team. Liquid may have been able to get away with it, but they didn't, because, like you heard from Sin, maybe if these smoke maneuvers worked out in their favor, then we would be looking at a Liquid victory. But G2.iG were keeping them at arm's length the entire time to buy enough time for their also expensive draft to come online.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot more, I feel like, opportunities in the game, with their lineup. Like with the Magnus, you always have the pick-off potential. And if you look at Liquid's lineup, what is exactly your pick-off potential? It's just mainly the Lion with the dagger.
Yep.
Wraith King doesn't really want to run around and initiate too much. He's trying to get towards his item timing. The Lina wants to farm and wait for the travels. And Lion,
Morphling also built super defensive.
Yeah.
Lincoln's BKB.
Yeah. So basically, they don't really have a lot of opportunities, and Boxy was like under a lot of pressure to try to set up for his team. And a couple of times he was caught out because he was playing really aggressive. But he was trying to do what he needed to do for his team, and he's the only one that could have done it.
Yeah, I think if you had maybe more follow-through for the line initiation, could have gone a little bit better.
Yeah.
But even the laning phase for Boxy was really slow. Like, that
Yeah.
top lane was probably the weakest one coming out there for Liquid.
I mean, this is the reason why I felt like the Wraith King was an idea that did not actually work out for them. I felt like what would have tied everything together with the draft is they needed an off-laner, maybe like Centaur or some Aura hero that can allow you to group up together. I say Aura hero because whenever you're playing against Spectre, you do not want to be splitting up too much on the map. That's going to give the Spectre a lot of opportunities to pick you off. So you want a hero that allows the team to group up together. Like a Tide would be a classic example to do that.
One of Saberlight's signatures was Enigma. Would you have preferred that?
Yeah, that would be fine too. Anything that allows you to just huddle up together by the pipe, push, and the game. I don't think going for this Wraith King ultra scaling hero would actually work. I was kind of skeptical in the beginning, but not because of the Wraith King, or more of the Lion, because I felt like the Lion had a lot to do this game and nobody could really help him. And I mean, after watching the whole game, I felt like that was kind of validated, because the Wraith King kind of wants to farm a lot, and Lion was just trying to do a lot alone. And whereas when you're looking at G2.iG's lineup, they have a lot of pressure on the map with the global presence of the Spectre, and it means that the Magnus can always feel like he can go for the pick-off. Not just the Magnus, you saw how JT was very aggressive. He knows that the
Sometimes
Spectre,
too aggressive.
Yeah, sometimes too aggressive. But he knows that he has backup coming in,
Yeah.
backup inbound, so he can always play like that. But Boxy was kind of left on his own.
How'd you like the mid lane head-to-head with Lina versus Magnus? We're still trying to figure out how good is Lina really.
Yeah, I think Cinderin mentioned as well, it should be a natural lane where Lina feels a little bit better playing from range. When you look at the CS at around 6-7 minutes going into 10, it wasn't that bad, for nothing to say. Like, he was keeping up in farm, just playing around with Shockwave, and I was surprised that you couldn't just right-click her ass out. You were asking a question as well on the skill build. Maybe he opted for that level 2 or he skipped it, maybe.
Oh yeah,
Not
and
sure.
Fiery Soul. Not sure, but that may have been a difference maker.
Yeah, but I at the end of the day, I kind of like what they actually envision with this Lina first pick. The idea behind that, they feel like I can just pick Lina and I don't really care about the matchup. So
Mm.
that would give my other lanes the opportunity to counter their opponent's matchup. It's just that I felt like at the end they didn't really have the right pick to bind everything together with the Wraith King.
They ended up going with the Wraith King, and that was one of our Acer Predator head-to-head choices as we looked at the offlaners. JT's Doom versus Saber Light's Wraith King.
One guy is playing, actually both of them are playing Midas hero, but only one guy actually buys the Midas. The other guy doesn't buy a Midas, but he's playing like he has a Midas on the
Yeah.
Wraith King.
Pretty much. I mean, I loved seeing JT kind of pull out this performance with the Doom. Because again, yesterday he was playing more hyper-aggressive offlaners like, say, the Primal Beast.
Yep.
And he had the same mentality once he had that farm. Like, he just goes. He knows his team will back him
He's
up.
a bit volatile, you know.
He is a little bit crazy,
Yeah.
you know.
I think he's the most Southeast Asian on this roster.
Damn it.
I mean, nothing to say. He plays like a Chinese player.
Okay,
X
fine.
Nova plays like a Chinese player, but JT, he plays like a Southeast Asian.
Yeah, I mean, you can't take it out of him, you know.
Yeah.
He plays Meepo.
Yeah, exactly. Which people are continuously afraid of, and maybe that's something that we need to look forward to the next draft. Is what do you think Liquid's going to revamp? Do you think that they're still comfortable with the first pick Lina if they get first pick again?
I think the Lina is gonna be okay for them if they want to do it again. It's more about the picks later. How are they gonna bind the whole draft together? You know, they need to get Saberlight on the same page, or they have to try to adapt towards what he wants to do. So we just have to see what they're going to change up in the draft.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be the offlane. Maybe something like the line idea as well is not something they
True.
revisit depending. But it just felt like it's going to be in the offlane. I think both picks have to change for sure.
These are expensive drafts, but you notice that's something that's very affordable. It's tickets to come to this event. Yes, we're only doing the group stage right now, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to be in an arena. I don't actually know what the name of the arena is.
MyTech.
MyTech. If you want to come to the MyTech arena, well, then you can go to esl.gg/ESL1KL. Limited tickets are still available, so you can get it now. But if you just want to watch from a distance, then I can bring you a game number 2 after the break.
I do like the potential for just like the Primal Beast plus AA. I think that lane, if you get that value point in the Vortex, it sounds really scary. Like that magic amp, the slow,
Yeah.
it's just so easy to
even,
chase down.
even if they're not on the same lane, it'll probably happen at some point. You know,
Yeah.
the AA just comes through the Twin Gate. You have level 3, 2 points in Vortex. You get a kill with the Primal.
Here's the Invoker you mentioned.
Yeah.
So exactly the same draft.
Which
almost.
means that on top of that, they have Boxy on Dark Willow, which is not going to be picked. This time they'll give it a Tusk.
Yep.
And then the last one was Saberlight Slardar, which is not possible.
I mean, this is a draft tailored specifically for Spectre. Like you have 2 supports that can roam to abuse the Shadow Step, and then you have Invoker, also another roamer. You run around and you set up kills with Tornado and EMP. And Tusk also provides them with a save against the RP. Okay. Enchantress, okay. So they want to get even more power in the early game. They want to try to play around the Primal Beast, give him, I presume it should be a position for Enchantress. So what that means is they're really trying to prioritize giving JT a good lane on the off-lane Primal Beast here and trying to play around that.
Yeah, I like this look from G2.iG. I get the ideas on
Yep.
Liquid.
I mean, there's also another extra thing that you could do with the Ench. I always feel like whenever you see Invoker, it's good to have like Ench because you can always collapse towards the mid lane. Like Invoker is not like a very, very strong hero to be able to defend the 6-minute catapult wave, and you have an Enchantress coming in with the creeps. So
That's
that could be very, very scary for them.
I wonder if we see that timing from G2.iG. I feel like, at least from most of the games I've seen, it does feel like it's been a little bit more static on the mid lane, not as much movement.
You try to just play for your side lanes, but in the early game, I feel like as supports, 6 minutes is the time that you want to move around to take the rune. After you take the rune, you're going to be thinking about stacking / wisdom rune at 7 minutes. So during the 6-7 minute mark, you're going to be on the move, you know. And if you have a advantageous lane, you feel like you can gank or weak enemy mid laner where he can just be easily abused by creeps, I think you should always try to prioritize going to the mid lane and try to pressure the tower. And if you look at his supports, he kind of doesn't really have very, very good supports that can wave clear. Like you don't see like a Jug Hero, or for example, or something that can clear out the creeps. Like Tusk and Gyro are not the best at dealing with creeps, you know. So I feel like this Enchantress pick could actually be very, very nice for G2.iG.
I love the ends of the spectrum with how tanky G2.iG's draft is. 2 of the heroes are insanely tanky, 2 of the heroes are insanely squishy.
Yeah, catching the back
Enchantress, I beg to
Against all
differ.
this magic damage, dude, Gyro, Invoker, and 3 daggers, Winter. 3 daggers!
Nature's attendance deals with them all.
It's not a burst heal, my man. It's a...
Glimmer, just get a Glimmer cape.
Yeah,
Like
but then you get the Veil. Because you know what?
Oh,
Veil does instant damage to barriers, Winter.
okay. Damn it. Should have not told you that.
Shouldn't have told me.
Yeah.
Carries get banned out in the final phase of Faceless Void and Morphling taken out. G2.iG take out the Lone Druid and Saberlight's Enigma. And now G2.iG pick up a CK.
And that's 3 beefy boys up front now for
For real.
G2.iG. Yep.
And C-Kick also enables the A.
Yo,
Yeah, just
so-
a lot of chain combinations. I like the tempo from G2.iG.
offlane Timbersaw, let's go.
Offlane Timbersaw. Against A. You sure?
No. Corrin dying.
I feel like they need like a team fight hero. Like some like tight Underlord kind of hero.
Yeah.
Some tank in front.
Oh, Underlord would be good.
Yeah, Underlord is great against the CK Illusions. Pretty decent against Magnus. Any damage reduction, team hero buys all the shitty items that everybody doesn't want to buy.
Who wants to buy a pipe in 2023?
Yeah, nobody. I mean, you don't have to buy pipe this game. I mean, you can against the A and the Primal. But I feel like the Tide and the Underlord primarily, you want them to deal with the CK Illusions and the Empower with the Magnus.
Yeah, I'd say I like the Tidehunter idea a little bit more, just because of that team fight factor still. Like the area
Cataclysm?
control. Yeah, you have the tie-in down the line, but even just having a wider range stun just feels significant, especially when you're trying to catch the back line. In case they're really spread apart, it does feel like a pretty decent option for Liquid.
I mean, there's still Centaur, right? If they don't want to keep... Oh, okay,
Oh.
Dawn.
Totally
So,
forgot about this
I mean,
hero.
this is like a super global lineup. Dawn, Sunstrike,
Yeah, but you talked
Shadow
about
Step.
this
Yeah,
with
too
Zeus.
many of the same heroes though. I feel like I'm a bit I'm a bit worried about it. But
Dawn
Dawn,
provides sustain in this situation. The Ag Scepter on Solar Guardian would be pretty good against CK.
hmm And the other reason why I feel like they chose to go for Dawn is the laning phase. Dawn is really good in the first couple of levels.
Yeah,
at
Dawn
killing-
Tusk is insane.
Yeah, killing weak supports like A and CK. So maybe the idea is they have to try to win the off lane so that the Spectre has a way to get herself into the game with the Shadow Step. So that could be the main idea. Maybe, even though it feels like they have some kind of overlap with the Solar Guardian and the Spectral. Sorry, the Shadow Step.
Yeah, but you're seeing Solar Guardian as primarily an offensive tool.
Yeah, kinda.
I
I
feel
guess.
like the defensive attributes of it are like it does both. Where yes, obviously Spectre can start it, and then Solar Guardian can follow up for more damage. But when you get RP'd, everyone's clumped up. Solar Guardian's healing
Yeah,
everybody.
yep. That's true. That's true. I totally forgot about that part. Like when you have Dawnbreaker against Legion, Magnus, Axe,
Yeah.
the type of hero just want to go in and kill one hero, he can really mess everything up.
I'm curious how well that lane goes. I remember Saberlight ran this kind of lane combo in his previous team as well, and it really stomped. Like, just the momentum from laning phase was the big thing. So I want to see this Dawnbreaker Tusk kind of work out.
Yeah.
Just tag team plus still Starbreakers. It's ridiculous.
It's definitely going to be key because he's going to be that anchor on the map that his team is going to rotate to with the Spectre and the Invoker. So if he does not get a good lane, it could be difficult for them.
Well, it's time to see the debut of Dawnbreaker here at ESL 1 Kuala Lumpur with our casters, it's OD Pixel and Cinderin.
First blood. As indeed I am first in everything.
30 seconds to battle. The battle begins.
It's all the same to me. Nice. Forbidden.
middle tower is under attack.
I was just getting warmed up. I refuse.
Dire's courier has been killed. Structures are fortified.
You did not earn it, so you do not get it.
Points for trying.
Radiant structures are fortified.
It's neither fair nor foul.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
You should never step. In their group.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
You should never step. You've learned.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire are scanning. Radiant are scanning. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire are scanning. Dire are scanning.
Gotcha.
Radiant's
Where's my
bottom tower
pension?
is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
Sets on this station.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire are scanning. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen. fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
At last.
Radiant are scanning. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is falling. Dire's top
I'll do better next time.
Where's my pension?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Damage.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
The dusk is always ready for a fight.
Dire are scanning. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant are scanning.
Which now has me fully on the G2.iG train. I was already buying my ticket after game 1, but I've boarded. And we're going full speed ahead to best team of 2023. That's right, I don't care about Team Spirit. They're not participating in this event. Therefore, G2.iG de facto best team. Maybe, we'll see. I have to beat Falcons after that. But for right now, I'm hype. I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, it's great news, right? Like, G2.iG, the team with 3 Malaysians, doing well so far, looking like they'll at least make a day
Yes.
of the stage
event.
game. So it's good news, and you know they do it in really great fashion as well. I think this also came down to a little bit to that Liquid draft. You and I were talking about that last pick, Dawnbreaker coming through. I mean, Saberlight was finding some early activity, just not enough to really get that ball rolling.
Yeah, we found the emo in Liquid.
Whoa! Easy there, Tiger. He's a stand-in, all right. Cut him some
I'm
slack.
just kidding.
But how much would you give the ratio of G2.iG doing good versus Liquid maybe not matching expectations
I mean,
for this
both.
series?
I think like you guys pointed out, I think especially Mr. Nielsen over there said that the draft has been really, really good.
Yeah.
I think that overall they have a very, very good understanding about each and every single player. What is he good at in the game, and I like that how they actually prioritize having the Magnus on the offlane in this game, because whoever they put between the Magnus or the Primal against the Spectre is gonna have a good game.
Yeah.
And I felt like they chose right, because if you compare Magnus and Primal, I would rather have Primal had a harder start against the who was it? Damn it, the
Invoker
mid
mid?
Yeah, the Invoker mid, and just let Magnus play for more of the mid-late game scaling.
Especially because the way that Nothing to Say repaired that was going to Mickey's Spectre's lane,
Yep.
walking all over him,
Yep.
and then leaving, but then really just coming back as soon as Spectre TP'd, and I don't think a Magnus would be able to do that.
Yeah, that's precisely why I felt like it was really good to put the Magnus on the off lane and the Primal. Like, he didn't really play that well in that lane, but it was already going to be a hard lane no matter what against Invoker. And like you said, with those 2 rotations towards the Spectre's lane, he completely dumpstered the early game for Mickey, and he chose to go for a Midas into Orchid, trying to play around the Dawnbreaker's game, like try to set up for pickoffs, but didn't really get them a lot of kills, so it didn't really pay out, I would say, and he decided to still go for the Radiance after that, but it affected the timing so much and it was so slow, and the Spectre just felt like he was always behind.
The conclusion that I guess we're still drawing is that the Saberlight pool seems to be a bit greedy right now, John.
Yeah, it kind of boils down to that. Like, specifically when they pick the Tusk into the Dawn, this is something that, again, he has run a couple of times with Shopify, and it's something that works with a very, you know, with his team. It doesn't necessarily transfer here for Liquid. I don't remember.
It's not
really
just about
running this.
the lane with the Dawn, you know. I can see why he likes it with the Tusk, but I also feel like the bigger picture-wise, what are you playing around? You're going to be playing around an Invoker and Spectre, right? So you can't really afford to have an offlaner that also wants to sit in a lane and farm.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned about overlapping roles with the Spectre, this is the part where I didn't really like about having Dawn and Spectre on the same team. I would much rather you have like a Centaur. So the Centaur can just run around the map, set up for kills, or you're the center of attention because you're trying to defend a tower, you're a beefcake, you're standing in front there, the enemy has to go on you, right, to get to the tower, and the Spectre sees an opportunity and comes in for the kill.
Yeah, in this case it was the other way around, where Spectre's
It's
like,
too
I
much-
found something, Saberlight, can you come help
Yeah,
me?
too much waiting around, you know, because everybody just wants to sit farm creeps, and oh, something happening, click R. You know, both of them want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminds me of like when you see the Spectre Zeus nowadays, right? You said
Yeah.
the same thing. It's just too much, two people waiting to be served.
Yep. And you have to understand, in order to win the game, only one can be served.
Yeah.
And now your statistic that you were trying to pull earlier is that Liquid was not fully successful on Spectre, which is what you lied to me originally because they did win on Spectre twice when they were playing yesterday against 9Pandas, but yes, now they have suffered a loss. But no shame in losing to this G2.iG squad because they are looking very good. And they are going to have to face off against Falcons as the next series. But Falcons is still in progress with their match against 9Pandas right now. And also on the Ember stream, Tundra and LGD are still facing off. And I'm actually not entirely sure if we're going to get an interview with G2.iG. We are. In fact, I've summoned it right now with Monet and BSJ and Jin to translate.
Thank you, Neil, as I'm here with Monet, star carry player, 2-0, looking convincing. You started this tournament out 0-2, now you're 4-2. How are you feeling as a team?
首先，我们有请大明星莫奈特，对吧？跟我们在一起。然后你们来到这场比赛的时候，小组赛，你们第一天打了一个先是一个0-2开场，然后现在也打成了4-2了。就想问一下，你现在感受是什么样的？
就挺好的吧，可能一开始的输的2把选人选的不是特别的好吧，然后打的也不是很好吧，后面大家都调整了一下，然后选人就是稍微针对一下线上的选人吧，就调整了很多吧。
I think we're feeling pretty great. For the first day, I mean, for the first series, we kind of had we were doing really badly both in terms of draft and execution. And just in terms of draft, we felt that we didn't draft really well. And the main adjustment that we did nowadays is that we focus much more on the laning phase. So we just want to make sure that we can win the lanes, and that has allowed us to play a lot better.
Okay, so speaking of the draft, you guys picked CK in that second game. Hero that got pretty heavily nerfed in the previous patch. As a carry player, like, how does it feel to pick a hero that got so heavily nerfed and have the confidence to still pick it anyways as like a final pick in the draft?
就想问你们刚刚赢的那一场比赛嘛，你们不是最后选了一个 CK 嘛？然后 CK 这个英雄已经被削的挺厉害了，就是上一个版本已经把他给狠狠的砍了一刀了。然后但是你们还敢这样选出来，就想问你对 CK 这个英雄，你们对他这个英雄理解是什么样的？
就可能比之前就是削弱了对线吧，然后整体上我是觉得，对于发育没什么影响嘛，就是比较配合我们阵容，我们就选了。
I think the main change was just that his laning stage was a bit weakened, but overall he's still a really strong hero, and I feel that for that draft he really fit our draft. So I felt like this is the right hero to pick.
So we've seen a lot of Morphling from you, a lot of Spectre. Do you feel like there's a lot of options in the carry player pool right now, or do you feel like it's kind of limited?
我们也看到你这边经常拿出一些什么水人幽鬼这些英雄，你认为现在1号位的英雄池是很广的吗？还是可能稍微窄一点？
就是现在超模英雄就幽鬼吧，我感觉水人也挺厉害的吧。线上就是水人比较稳定一些，然后幽鬼就是他6级了就可以打出就是很高额伤害嘛，可以配合边路。其他英雄先观望嘛。
I think right now it's mostly just Spectre and Morphling. They are kind of like heroes that are kind of OP right now. So for Morphling, it feels like he's just really consistent in lane and he's hard to kill. Whereas for Spectre, it's the fact that once he hits level 6, he's able to help out the side lanes, just be able to contribute to the team fights and deal out a lot of damage. So those two heroes are definitely what he feels to be OP. The rest are just depends on the scenario.
Okay, so for your next and final series of the group stage, or one of the final series of the group stage, excuse me, you're going to be playing against Team Falcons. You're 4-2 now. They're looking at 4-1 or 4-2. How are you feeling about your series to kind of decide who's likely going to go to the upper bracket?
就你们现在还剩2场嘛，然后其中一场也是打另外一个很强的一个战队，就是那个 Falcon 战队。然后他们可能下一场比赛你们就能决定谁在胜者组谁在败者组，然后你对下一场比赛的看法是什么？
其实是有稍微的去模拟了一下 BP 嘛，反正就打好自己的吧，打好自己的应该没什么问题吧。
We have did some mock drafts to plan around how to be able to draft against them. Other than that, it's just about playing your best, do what you're comfortable with, and hope for the best.
Awesome. Thanks for the interview, buddy. Nice 2-0 against Team Liquid, and good luck in your next series against Team Falcons. We'll go ahead and send it back to the panel.
Thank you very much, Brian, Jin, and Monet, who I respect his opinion as a carry player for quite a great many years. I hadn't looked into it previously. Winter, how long has Monet been active as a player?
8 years.
Wow, you nailed it. Yes. Wow, okay, I'm shocked that you actually got that off. Yes, he is 24, and he has been active as a competitive, pretty relevant player since 2015, which is an incredible amount of longevity for someone who I still consider to be pretty young. And yeah, his TI7 LFY third place run was, in my opinion, when he really showed up on the radar as a gold standard carry.
Yeah, he's very mature. In the interview, he said that when he came to the last pick, Brian kind of asked him about Chaos Knight, and he felt like Chaos Knight was a good pick there because it fits the draft. It tells you that when the carry is thinking about the whole draft, the whole picture, he's matured. He's not only just thinking, oh, it's my lane. I just want a good lane. I don't care about everything else. As long as I can farm, that's all that matters.
No selfish carries on your
Yep.
teams.
No, this one is approved.
Well, I'm happy to hear that, and we're going to have more ticks to give him as we look forward to their series against Team Falcons. But if you want to see all these Malaysian players who we conveniently did not interview, we interviewed the Chinese player instead. But if you want to see the Malaysian players, then you got to come down to the arena. And you got to get tickets to do that. Got to go to esl.gg/ESL1KL. Limited tickets are still available right now, and you can show up on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for a live Dota action as we start the next season. That's right. The whole ESL Pro Tour is underway right now here at ESL 1 Kuala Lumpur. And we're going to bring you one more series here of the group stage. It's going to be G2.iG versus Team Falcons after a break.